am I still wearing my pajama shirt with basically a blanket over top. Yes, I am. We're keeping it cozy here. All right, so today we're talking about foundation. Haven't said that sentence in a minute. Technically tinted moisturizers, tinted SPFs, but if you're like, okay, I'm a coverage kind of gal, I'm not gonna be interested in any of these, don't click out because some of these have some freaking coverage and basically are like foundation. These are updates on products I've been testing. Some of them I really like, some of them I don't. So we've got a mix here. Also, over the last few weeks, I've been getting footage applying all these on my face so you can see what they look like on the skin. So if you enjoy this video and find it helpful, you can give it a thumbs up. I'm gonna leave my most recent other foundation videos down below. A few months ago, I did like my current favorite foundations. I also have a video talking about 5 things that transformed my makeup, and one of those is a tinted moisturizer. The elastin that I pretty much compare any kind of tinted moisturizer, tinted SPF to now, because this is like top tier, still number one. Comes in one shade because it's technically not tinted moisturizer. So I talk about the downsides, pros and cons in that video. So if you want to hear more about my number one guy, you can check out that video. Let's start out with a new release by Summer Fridays. It's their Sheer Skin Tint. It has 1 fluid ounce of product, comes in 10 shades. I'm looking down at my notes here. It's always funny making notes on video. I feel like I'm like back in college, but I'm like, whoa, this is cool, man. I'm making notes about makeup right now. Anyways, so this product is $42, has 1 fluid ounce of product, and comes in 10 shades. I have the shade 3, which is a good shade for me when I have self-tanner on. So like I always say when I talk about tinted moisturizers, typically they come in a much smaller shade range than foundations. I don't agree with that because it's you still need the right shade, like unless it's super sheer, which honestly this is like, I mean, we'll talk about it, but this is probably the exception to that because this is very sheer, but most of the time you still need more of a shade range than what brands typically provide for tinted moisturizers. They say that this is a lightweight skin tint that layers beautifully for sheer to light coverage with a natural looking finish. I don't think this builds at all. I would say this is total sheer coverage and it's actually extremely glowy. So I don't think it's a natural looking finish at all either. Going on, it does have that like serum, very lightweight kind of feel. I found that the best way to apply this on its own is with your fingers. And one thing with tinted moisturizers, I always say it like really depends with foundations how you apply your products, but especially with tinted moisturizers, they really can look different depending on how you apply it. Some of these I only use with a brush, some I only use with my hands, and they can look like totally different products depending on how you apply it. For example, I do not like elastin with a brush. I think it looks not nearly as good with a brush as it does with your hands. It looks incredible with your hands. This one is definitely a hands kind of one for me. It just looks the best with your fingers. It also has like this like slippery, a little bit greasy kind of feel to it, but then it does kind of like set on your skin, absorb in a little bit. For $42, this is one that I definitely wouldn't repurchase. It's not one that I reach for a lot. I've been using it to like mix in with other foundations just to kind of darken them, or if you like want to add a glow, but again, for $42, doesn't really make sense as like a mixing product, especially because it's pretty sheer. But if you are someone who likes truly sheer products, maybe you already have like perfect skin, you don't need a whole lot, but you like a glow, you might like this one. It's not like a long-lasting foundation or anything, but it doesn't get oily on me throughout the day. It doesn't look too greasy throughout the day. The glow kind of just like stays the same, but is very glowy. All right, next up we have the Tower 28 Sunny Days Broad Spectrum SPF 30. So this is a tinted SPF. It comes in 14 shades and has 1 fluid ounce of product. What shade is mine? Wow, I can't even read this. 25 Ocean Park. There we go. Reef safe, alcohol-free mineral sunscreen. They say it's a 2-in-1 fragrance-free mineral sunscreen foundation with SPF 30, light to medium buildable coverage, and a natural finish that's safe for sensitive skin. My favorite way to apply this is with a brush. This is so beautiful. I love this. I keep wanting to reach for this. I have a couple others I like too, but this one I think I reach for more often because A, the shade is a good self-tanner shade for me, but the shade aside, it has an adaptable kind of finish. I would say on its own, it's like a natural glowy finish, but if I wear a more mattifying primer underneath or like put a little powder over top, I can get a really pretty satin kind of finish, or if I'm wearing like really glowy products underneath, then I can look super glowy. It goes well with whatever you pair it with. I've mixed this in with stuff. I've worn it on its own. It just looks nice and flattering on the skin. It doesn't cling to texture. It wears well on me. It doesn't crease at all. And it has just like a creamy kind of feel blending out. It's not too thick. It's not too thin. It's not like a serum kind of formula. I do like the coverage of this one. I would say I agree with the light to medium coverage. Again, depending on how you apply it, how much do you use, but with a brush, the way that I apply it, I typically get about medium coverage. Sometimes I do feel like I need to add like a little concealer if I have extra redness on my cheeks or whatever, but I can wear it with a full makeup look, or I can wear it super natural. It can kind of go both ways for me. I have been really enjoying this one, especially mixed in with this concealer. This is the Milk Makeup Future Fluid Concealer. I have the shade 11C. I have this on underneath my eyes today as concealer. So this is a concealer, but it is incredible as foundation. It looks beautiful just like all over as foundation if you want full coverage, or mixed in, and these two mixed together are so pretty. The texture of this is just beautiful. It's like a satin creamy kind of finish, but it still has full coverage. It sits nicely over your pores if you use this as like an all over foundation. I feel like they need to release this exact formula as a foundation in like a bigger bottle. It is so pretty. But yeah, if you want more coverage in any of these tinted moisturizers I'm talking about, this is like a perfect product for that. It mixes well with anything I've tried so far. Next up, we have what I have on my face today. Actually, we'll tell you what I did, but this is the Tula Radiant Skin Brightening Serum Skin Tint SPF 30. This is $40, has 1 fluid ounce of product. I do have an affiliate code with Tula. No pressure. If you want to use it, you can use it. If not, but it'll give you a discount. It'll bring it down to like $34. But this comes in 30 shades. And that, I was thinking about it last night. I was like, whoa, I think that is the most shades I've ever seen for a tinted SPF. That's a lot. Usually brands will do max like around 15 for any kind of tinted moisturizer, tinted SPF products. So the fact that this has 30 shades is actually really great. I have the shade 06. I definitely think this like runs pretty light though, because 06 is pretty much my pale shade. Like I can wear this when I don't have tanner on. So I do want to pick up a different shade of this to match me when I have tanner on better, because today I did have to add something in to darken it. The clip that you're seeing applying this, first when I did this side of my face, this is just the Tula so you can see what it looks like. But they say a weightless, breathable skin tint packed with skin first ingredients to boost your daily glow. I don't agree with that. I love this one, but I don't agree with that. Out of all these, it's like the thickest one. Not in a bad way, but I do like to apply this with a sponge the best because of that. You get like full coverage with a brush, but with a brush, it just feels like a foundation. I actually applied this in a first impressions video when I first started trying it a few months ago now, 2-3 months ago. But when I first applied it, that was my thought, like, whoa, this feels like a foundation. With a brush, it definitely feels like a little bit thicker, heavier, which is why I like it best with a sponge. I use my favorite Amazon sponge with it. If I want more coverage, I'll use a brush. But I like that this has hyaluronic acid, ceramides, and collagen in it as well. So it does have those like skincare ingredients. 12-hour long wearing, buildable light to medium coverage. Also don't think this is light coverage. Even applied with a sponge, I would say it's closer to medium coverage. And if you want light coverage out of this, typically you can apply just less product and get less coverage. But because of the consistency of this one, because it is a little bit thicker, I do feel like it's harder to kind of like sheer out. You almost would need to mix something in with it if you wanted it light coverage. So I do feel like it's closer to medium coverage and you can get full coverage out of this. This one has a super pretty glow. This is one that like the more I used it, the more it's really grown on me. Like I said, I've been using this for a few months now, and it is one that I want to consistently reach for. And it's also one where I'm like, okay, if my skin is just not looking good, if I have like a lot of redness going on, this is the one that I typically reach for because it has, out of all these, this does have the most coverage. Today, I just had to darken my face. Like I said, the shade is too light. So I did add a little bit of the Belia. This is just a BB cream from DM. It's like the drugstore here. This is like light coverage. I literally just had to darken my face. So I add a little bit of that over top. You want to glow and more coverage and something that has an SPF in it and skincare ingredients. I feel like this is a good like all-in-one for that. I do enjoy this enough to where when I run out, I'm going to be repurchasing it. All right, next up we have the Saie Slip Tint SPF 35 Tinted Moisturizer. So this is not a new release, but it's one that I have been retesting. I tried this like a couple years ago, but I recently repurchased it and have been trying out again, and I always get asked about this one, so I wanted to kind of give my thoughts, you know. This is $36, 1.3 ounces. This has the most product out of any of them, 14 shades, classic. This, for me, applies so good with the Haley's foundation brush. This is one of my favorite foundation brushes. Super soft, dense, applies foundation perfectly. But with this, these two together are like a magical combo. It looks like super pretty and plumping. I definitely prefer a brush with this one over fingers or sponge. I had a good chuckle last night reading the product description for this. Whoever wrote this product description on Sephora, great salesman or woman, probably a real estate agent, probably in sales. However, I don't think they know two shits about makeup. It's good. Here we go. Here's a few of the winning lines for me. A tinted moisturizer that offers skin-loving hydration, sheer dewy coverage in confusion-free shades. Pocket-friendly tube, goes wherever you go, no shaking needed. Don't overthink choosing your shade. Each flexible, confusion-free shade tint disappears into a wide range of skin tones. I mean, it's a tube, pocket-friendly tube. Who is putting, women don't have pockets that big, okay? I would love if we did, we don't. No shaking needed. It is true, there is a pump on this one, which I actually really, I like that about it. My Elastin has a pump, but the other ones are twist top, and I much prefer this. It's so much nicer, just pull it off and pump it out. So they say sheer dewy coverage. Definitely dewy. This is more dewy, I would say, than the Tower 28. But the reason why I love this one is because with the brush, it gives the prettiest, plump, healthy kind of glow. I would say out of all of them, this is the closest to like your skin, but better, while still actually giving some decent coverage with the brush. I would say with the brush, I get like close to medium coverage. I would say light to medium coverage, again, depending on how you apply it, how much you use, all that. It smooths over everything nicely. It looks really pretty on my forehead. I think out of all of them, the Elastin excluded, this is probably the most like smoothing on my forehead. I have the shade 3, which with my tanner shade right now, for example, this would be too light, but if my tanner is like fading off or I have just a lighter tanner shade on, this one matches. So I do want to pick up probably like a shade 5 or something. I feel like if I had a darker shade in this one, I would probably reach for it more than the Tower 28. But I like them both. Next, I want to do quick updates on 3 products that I have already kind of shared my thoughts on, but because we're doing a consolidated foundation, tinted moisturizers I've been testing video, I feel like I should include it here too. But if you saw my speed reviews video, you saw me talk about these. All 3 of these I didn't bring with me because, well, 1 is really heavy, 2 I did not like. So here we go. The Ilia See Beyond Triple Serum. This is $64. This product, like the most disappointing products I've tried in a while. I was very excited to try this. It comes in 3 shades. They say an innovative 3-in-1 serum sunscreen with encapsulated vitamin C, mineral, SPF 40, and niacinamide in a waterless base for visibly brighter skin. This is pretty much completely sheer, like 0 coverage, 0 pigment. When you apply it to your face, I mean, you literally can't see anything as far as color. So whatever tint is in there, I think they're just trying to counteract any white cast from the SPF maybe. It feels so just like greasy and oily on the skin. This is something that as soon as I put it on, I would just want to wash off my face. It just makes your skin feel like dirty and oily. Applying other products over top, total shit show because it is just too slippery, too greasy. So I just really don't see the point of this one, because if you're going the skincare route, you can get those ingredients and other products in for cheaper. And if you're going for the tinted SPF route, I mean, this literally does not give you any tint. So next up is the Lancome Care and Glow foundation. This is $47, has 1 fluid ounce of product, and comes in 30 shades. So this obviously is a foundation. It is one I've been testing, so I wanted to kind of include it. They say it's a 24-hour transfer-resistant, healthy-looking glow serum foundation with buildable medium coverage and SPF 27, so specific. This one, I love how it looks for the first couple hours. When it goes on, it has nice coverage. I would say medium to full coverage. It just looks pretty. It makes your skin look very radiant without being overly glowy. It does give that like plump look. It looks really pretty for the first couple hours. On me, this one can oxidize, and I also feel like it just doesn't last the best throughout the day. Looks great when I first put it on, but then it just kind of looks like average throughout the day. I do get a little bit more just like wear with this one than I would like. I don't have oily skin, by the way. My skin lately has been normal, should have said at the beginning. So the Lancome Care and Glow, I think will just depend on your skin, because some of you in the speed reviews video said that it lasts like really well on your skin. Ooh, this one, yikes. Pacifica Tinted Serum. $14, 12 shades. There's only 8 shades on Target right now, so I don't know what's going on with that. Applied this in one of my vlogs. It was one of the Atlanta vlogs. They say it's a breathable, ultra-thin tinted serum packed with skin-loving ingredients, vitamin C, niacinamide, caffeine, natural dewy finish. So it's really, it's none of those things. On me, this one looked like more of like a satin matte finish. This just really clung to my skin. It did not look flattering. Almost looks like a little patchy. Can look dry in some areas. This one was just like a no-go for me. I am confused though how they fit 1 ounce of product in that tiny bottle. It just goes to show you, like, it's all packaging. It's so crazy how, like, different things can be the same amount of product but just look, like, very different. And that Pacifica bottle, I remember it was, like, literally this big. It was very tiny. All right, so those are all of my updates, my tinted moisturizer foundation updates. I'm gonna have everything listed down below in the description box, and I also link any videos that I have applying it and wearing it next to the product down below in case you want to go check that out and see it in action. But I hope you guys found this helpful and enjoyed. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much. I'm gonna have everything else I'm wearing linked down below as well. The sweater, the earrings, the rest of my makeup. Ooh, this lip combo, really diggin'. This was the Makeup Forever Wherever Walnut with the AOA Full Lips. This is like $1 plumping lip gloss in light pink. This is one of my favorites. Looks so pretty, but these two together really doing it for me. Then eyeshadows, Essence Coffee to Glow palette is so good. I recently did a whole full face of Essence video. Charlotte Tilbury blush. But I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.